Gradey Dick hasn't been at his best this season, and he's definitely gotten some slack from the Raptors fan base and community over his play. They've wanted him to, we were expecting maybe a little bit more. His minutes have been great for the team, just individually they haven't quite been there. And it's making people start to think that the Raptors shouldn't have taken him with the 13th overall pick in 2023. Well, let's put that to the test. Let's do a redraft of the 2023 draft class to see if it was a good selection or if there are 13 players that have emerged from that draft class that the Raptors could have better used that pick on. And we're going to do it similarly to how I did the previous one that we did on the channel, which is segregated like this. We're going to do our best to put them in order for all the players, but we're going to be doing the top 5 lottery players, so 6 to 14, first round picks, so 15 to 30, second round picks, undrafted free agents, and the last category for today, instead of Shanghai Sharks, we're going the Sudbury 5, which is a basketball team in Sudbury. I forget what even league they play in. It's not even the CEBL. They play in like another one. Anyway, I went to school in Sudbury, and when I was in school, this team got formed. And anyways, sure, there's great basketball players in that team, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna say these are the players who are no longer the caliber of NBA players. So we have all the players that were selected in the first round, and then select players that I've taken from the second round who I feel like deserve to get some recognition for this list because they are good enough to at least be somewhat recognized for the sake of this list here. So as we go through in the chat, let me know where you think guys should end up. Hopefully I remember all the players' names that I put on the list here today. So we're going to start with Eamon Thompson. And I would really struggle to think that we're going to find 5 players better than him out of the draft. 4th overall pick that year by the Houston Rockets. And he got a lot better last season, and he's started this season pretty well also. Next up is Trace Jackson Davis. His role has shrinked since his rookie year. But I'm not sure, I think you're going to be rudely awoken by the lack of talent that has emerged from this draft. So I don't know if we're going to find 30 players better. So for the now, we're going to put him first round. Keontae George up next, one of the players that Raptors fans were really upset the Raptors didn't draft at 13th. I preferred Gradey Dick, but Keontae George this season, he's a complicated one because he's clearly capable as a scorer. He's averaging this season over 20 points per game, and he's been like in the mid-teens in his first 2 seasons in the NBA. The issue is he is so inefficient, which is what I was worried about when the Raptors were considering selecting him. He's so inefficient, and his style of play is very inefficient. So there's clearly talent there. I do wonder on a winning team and a more serious organization, the Utah Jazz, how effective he would be. Because he feels a little bit Cam Thomas-like at the moment. So I think he's good enough to be a lottery pick still. I'm not going to, at this point, I can't put him top 5. Victor Wembanyama is obviously the best player and still top 5. He's going to be number 1 in a redraft because he's a top 5 player maybe in the entire NBA. So we are very obviously going to put him top 5 on this list. And he's going to be number 1 on this list as well. Scoot Henderson's up next, and he has just been disappointing in the NBA. He was kind of projected to be that second overall pick, ends up going Brandon Miller's way, and Charlotte, my goodness, did they make the right decision. Just pretty inefficient, a little bit disappointing relative to his draft position. I still think there's some talent there. I don't know if it's enough. We'll put lottery for now, but we have a chance to change it later. Jordan Hawkins is the next one that Raptors fans were really upset the team didn't draft. And people were just, he's the better shooter than Gradey Dick, which wasn't the case. But I don't know, Raptors fans just always want to be upset about something. At least a lot of them want to feel that way. Jordan Hawkins' role with the Pelicans, who stink, has diminished year to year. He's an okay player, but I don't think we're going into lottery territory for him in a redraft. Kobe Buffkin up next. I got to be honest, I was really high on Kobe Buffkin going into this draft. And when Gradey Dick was available at 13th, I was really divided between going him or Kobe Buffkin. Wasn't my choice. Obviously, the Raptors ended up going the way of Gradey Dick, and that's proven to be the correct decision. Kobe Buffkin has just not really kicked on in his NBA career at all. He's down in the G League this season. He's not been able to put like any efficiency together like whatsoever for the Hawks. So for that reason, like he might still be first round, but I think he's easily able to be bumped out of the way. Up next, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who I was kind of interested in going into the draft. He ends up going, I think it was 17th to the Lakers. And, I mean, just look at his photo. He is in his college photo, his college gear for the photo that's on ESPN. This is a player who has just absolutely not been able to make an impact in the NBA whatsoever. He's playing in the G League right now with the Sixers. He's on a two-way contract, but I'm not sure he's even a first-round pick in a redraft. Like, has been hugely disappointing. Jaime Jaquez, talented player, and I think ended up in a really good spot in Miami, and I think definitely is a lottery caliber player after getting selected 18th that year by the Heat. Also, somebody who was impressed despite their draft position, Brandon Podziemski, 19th overall pick by the Warriors, was kind of projected as a late first, early second round pick. The Warriors reached up to get him, and he's proven to be talented. I think that's going to be pretty common. There'll be a lottery player out of this one. Cam Whitmore coming up next. He was projected to be the 4th overall pick in this draft, maybe 5th. And then he fell all the way to 20th. And I still don't really know why, to be honest. But maybe teams just weren't interested in his style of play. Very, for the lack of a better term, self-oriented, not super efficient. There's still talent there, playing for the Wizards now. Definitely still a first-round pick. I mean, I might be able to move him up to a lottery, but there's talent there, despite that he's not lived up to his pre-draft hype. Noah Clowney up next, a serviceable NBA player. I think that's going to be a first-round pick for us. Derek Whitehead. Jeez, he just got waived before this season. Really disappointing pick by the Brooklyn Nets at 22nd overall. Waived, I mean, Brooklyn suck. I'm sorry, if you get waived by Brooklyn, you might be Sudbury 5 bound, man. It's unfortunate, but that just might be where you're going. Waived by Brooklyn. They are terrible. I guess they drafted a lot of players and they want to get them play time, but you can't get waived by Brooklyn. You can't get waived by Brooklyn. Up next is Chris Murray. Hasn't done much in his NBA career so far. I'll put him second round. Then we have, who is this? Anyways, hopefully come back to him. Hopefully remember him. Oscar Thompson coming up. Has dealt with quite a few injuries, but there's ability there. At the very least, he is a terrific defender. He can score a little bit. Super talented athlete. I think it's a guy who goes in the lottery once again in a redraft. Then we have Marcus Sasser, who's been injured this season. Marcus Sasser's like a quality point guard, playing good backup minutes for Detroit last season. I would take him above Scoot Henderson. He might be a lottery pick for us in this one. And we might start moving some guys up into the top 5 tier. Ben Shepherd, decent player. Can shoot the 3 ball at a decent clip. Solid bench guy. We'll put him in with the first rounders. I think I'll put him there. Then we have Nick Smith, who's revived his career a little bit with the Lakers this season, getting some more minutes there. Generally inefficient player, not really a skill set suited to like a role player in the NBA, but I think enough to say first round in this one. This is Bryce Sensabaugh, who can really shoot the 3 ball. I think plays like a decent role that teams would be interested in. I'll put him in the first round. Then we have Julian Strother. Kind of gets a lot of minutes because he's on a Denver team devoid of bench talent. So still a good player. Definitely a first rounder, but we're not going to put him into the lottery. Then we have Kobe Brown from the Clippers. I actually am not sure if he's still playing in the NBA. He is. He's okay. He's played a little bit this season. He's still on the Clippers. Looks like mostly garbage time. Okay, kind of tough to evaluate these guys if they're just 2 years, but we're gonna do our best. I'm gonna put him above Kobe Buffkin for now. Andre Jackson, I think like solid rotation guy. Hasn't been that for the Bucks this season, but from what I've seen, I think Ajax provides some solid talent. I'll put him in this range here. Jordan Walsh is getting decent minutes for the Celtics this season and doing like a decent job with it. I would definitely have him in this range above a guy like Kobe Buffkin. And we're gonna have to start moving some players up soon, dude. Because we are running out of area here. All right, let's just organize later. Mohamed Gay getting okay minutes for the Hawks. I think we'll actually put him a little behind Nick Smith. Then we'll go Tristan Vukcevic. Maybe lower end of the first round. Put him there. How many guys do we have here? All right, let's start to fill out like the top end talent and just see what how we're dealing here. Okay, so yeah, we were not start. Well, actually, we're saving a lot of the good players to the end. I'm gonna be honest. We've got Brandon Miller, who absolutely is still a top 5 pick out of this draft. When he's healthy, he's probably still going second. Toumani Camara, 52nd overall pick this year by the Suns. What a fumble of a trade to get rid of him because he would have been great for them. He's fantastic. I really like Toumani Camara. I think in a redraft, he might actually even go top 5. I'm going to put him here for now. I would take him over Jaime Jaquez. He's a great defender and a great shooter. The two skills that gets you paid a lot in this league. I'm a big fan. I'm putting him 4th for now. Bilal Coulibaly, drafted 7th. Felt like a bit of a reach at the time by the Wizards, but he has progressed very admirably as an NBA player. And last season, even like kind of picked up the scoring quite a bit and became like decently valuable in that respect for a really bad Wizards team. In the end, he's an incredible defender, still has work to do as a scorer, but is still very young and will improve there, I think. So I still think he goes quite high. I will say, I think he goes behind Osar. I think he goes behind Keontae George, but he goes in that range. I think he's almost certainly a lottery caliber player. Then we have Cason Wallace, who, man, if you were following me around this draft, I was so interested in getting Cason Wallace. Didn't materialize. Of all fucking teams, the Thunder get him. And the Thunder, oh, they got a good one. He's a great player. Maybe even goes a little bit overlooked at times because he's on the Thunder. I actually would probably take him above Jaquez. Does that make him top 5? I think it does, honestly. That was one that, damn, he couldn't have fallen like 2 more spots for us. Helped us out. I guess not. I guess he wasn't able to do that. Anthony Black up next, 6th overall pick by the Magic. Starting to get into his groove a little bit more in the NBA, but still hasn't wowed for a 6th overall pick. We might be able to still keep him in the lottery here. Let's put him, how many guys? We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we might drop him. I mean, I'd put him above Scoot. I would still take him above Marcus Sasser, actually. So he's probably safe in the lottery. The player in question here is Olivier Maxence Prosper, Canadian, and hasn't been super impressive in the NBA, unfortunately. Might sneak into first round. How many guys? He might sneak in. We'll put him here for now. Yeah, I'll put him there for now. Let's see. Gigi Jackson, actually not too bad, especially for a 2nd round pick. Went 45th overall to the Grizzlies. We'll put Gigi Jackson, definitely a 1st rounder. Put him in this territory. Actually, maybe not definitely a 1st rounder. Put him in here. I'd be overrating Julian Strouth a little bit. I think Jordan Walsh can move up. We'll change it in a second. Up next, we have Jarris Walker, who has kind of dealt with a lot of injuries in his time in the NBA. So we haven't really gotten a big sample as of yet, but he's solid. He should be able to be a good three-point shooter. With the lack of information, I don't think he'll be as trusted as some of these guys. I think I'd still take him above Scoot, though. I think I'd still feel good enough there. Then we have Taylor Hendricks, Utah Jazz, 9th overall pick. And he hasn't quite kicked on in the NBA. Pretty inefficient, not super reliable, not getting much game time even for the Jazz. Also has dealt with injuries. Might still go first round, but maybe not, honestly. Put him there. I don't think that might sneak him in. Jett Howard, 11th overall by the Magic. I think they really reached for him there. They didn't trade up for him. Sorry. He went 11th, and I think Wallace went 10th. And I think OKC traded up to get him. Let me just check the list. My mistake, yeah. Jett Howard went 11th to the Magic, a bit of a reach. Casey Wallace went 10th. Jett Howard, just bad pick. Hasn't turned out to be very good. I'll put him here. And then it comes to Gradey Dick. Now, this is the question that we wanted to answer from doing this redraft. Where does Gradey Dick rank in a redraft? I think it's pretty clear where it breaks off. And I think Gradey Dick is right here. I take him over Anthony Black, and you'd have to consider for Coulibaly, but I think I'll value Coulibaly's athleticism and defense enough to keep him there. But I think Gradey Dick in a redraft still goes no later than 13th. Like, I'm definitely sure if you want to put him here, he's still 13th. Maybe you could put him 14th if you value the skill set of a guy like Jarris Walker that much, but I don't think so. And I think that's even like we're being generous here. I think definitely he's a top 13 pick, which kind of the point of this is to showcase that for people who thought it wasn't a great pick at 13. And sure, there are players who got taken behind him who I have ahead of him in this list. But it was a fine pick by the Raptors. And Gradey Dick has showcased some good stuff for the Raptors season and brings a skill set that we really need, which is shooting. And even though individually this season he has been at his best, like I said, they have dominated in his minutes, and the spacing is important. So I'll put him 11th here. Let's try to rearrange a little bit before we end this off. I feel bad there's only one guy, the UDFA. Maybe we even put Jalen Hood-Schifino there. All right, we'll just so we can spread it out a little bit. All right, now we got to sort this out because we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 guys. We have 18 guys in first round. We need to get rid of 3. Kobe Buffkin drops out. We'll drop out Kobe Brown, and we will drop out Jett Howard. Arranging this, I'm pretty satisfied with how it's arranged right now. I think I'm comfortable with that. And I think I'm pretty comfortable here. Maybe Osar could go for. I mean, Osar's got so much potential just for the sheer athleticism, the defense he has. If we're redrafting, maybe I'll move him. You know what? No, I'll keep it. You know what? I'm happy with where it's at. Let's leave it like this. This is my redraft of the 2023 NBA draft. Let me know what you agree with and disagree with. Give me all your thoughts.